Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show reviews. And today I'm reviewing Interview with the Vampire, episode 7, the season finale, entitled The Thing Lay Still, come to you from AMC, streaming on AMC Plus. So, what did I think about it, and should you be watching? And before we get into the review, please get down there, hit that like button, hit subscribe. Thanks. Oh man, it's all coming to a head. In the previous episode, the uneasy truce between the three vampires the three vampires in the coven in New Orleans. It's coming to a head. Claudia is ready to kill Lestat so they can get on and get out. And she and Louis can go and live a life free of his domination. And so this is all about the setting up this plot to get rid of Lestat. And of course, you got to think that the man is maybe thinking that something's up, that this uneasy truce is got to come to an end. And it really is, plotting until something comes up that kind of puts them to mind that they've got to leave New Orleans. I mean, you got to think about it. It's been, for Louis, he was turned in 1910, and it's now into the 40s, in the midst of World War II. 30 years have passed, and he looks no different. And then Claudia, of course, nearly 30 years, she hasn't changed. So people are starting to think they're angels or devils or something. And as Lestat said, the pitchforks and torches come out. And so in an effort to sort of go out with a bang, or in the sense that Claudia wants to use this as a cover for the murder of Lestat, they are going to throw a giant ball, a big to-do, and have a big old, vampire feast at the end of it. And it really kind of plays into the theatrics that Lestat prefers. And so that's the gist of this episode, the setup of all of that, combined with the final act, if you will, in this sort of very tragic three-way relationship. And so without going further into those details just yet, I have to say, absolutely love this episode. This is how you end a season of a show. It really, honestly, makes me hate that it's only 7 episodes long. I feel like it's over too soon. I don't feel like I got conned out of my time or that I lost any time. I know I've absolutely felt every episode of this show was a big full meal. It's just that I want to keep eating. I want more. This was so good. Like there's just great performances all the way around. Great writing, great presentation. Everything looks great. Like the whole ball is a big theatrical affair. Everyone's in costume and everything. They got masks on. There's a big float thing that Lestat is featured in. It's all it's also theatrically, majestically presented. I can't say enough about the direction and the art style, really even the cinematography in here. Like it's like the cinematographer knows that the camera loves these characters, and it just is used to frame them in the best way possible. I'm going to speak about each particular character. Now, and also before I forget, the framing devices in this. We kind of saw in the previous episode that Daniel had a weird memory that made him it's Rashid in there. It is mine. Insert that, and he spends a lot of time while talking to Louis, sort of being trying to remember is that who I thought it was. And so the framing device, the whole him interviewing them, talking, even that is riveting. It's super dramatic, very riveting. All up to the climax of the episode, which was a huge reveal at the end of the episode. I will go into it later on, but just I cannot say how much I just jumped out of my chair when they reveal who Rashid actually is at the end of the episode. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I want to just note that the whole just the plot of this episode had me from the beginning. It was so tense. Everything with the tension was high. Hearing Louis and Claudia sort of talk to each other, plotting, and we know that Lestat is just certain, but he can't hear them, and he's just so certain that they're doing it. Uh, Claudia being like basically, galaxy brain genius on this whole tip. The way she doesn't just set everything up. She knows what she knows. She's on top of the game, and we see that play out in the episode. We saw that in the previous episode that she really did, get her chess game on point, because in this one, this entire episode is one long game being played out, and Lestat, continuing to think that he is her better, that he's smarter, that he knows, and she picks apart his weaknesses and sets him up for the big finale, which, spoiler alert, they quote kill him, in the sense that, the whole idea is to trick him into, to trick Lestat into drinking blood from a corpse, which will weaken him enough for them to kill him. And the way she sets the entire thing up is beautiful, into the point of just knowing that Louis is not a trustworthy accomplice, not because he doesn't want to help, but because he is so enthralled by Lestat that he can't be trusted to have any of the real details. That he simply has to be who he is. His part in the whole murder is to be who he is to Lestat, to be the bait, if you will, and to allow her to make all the plans. And it works out beautifully. Yeah, it at one point it seems like, oh, Lestat clearly is gonna, he knows what's up. I remember a part in which we kind of hear another voice, they're talking to each other. They hear another voice call out, and then we hear a third voice, fourth voice call out. And I remember thinking like, oh man, he turned somebody or one or two people into vampires, and that's his get out of jail free card. That's how he's going to defeat their whole little plot. And and we believe it, all the way up to when they go through and through the party and select all their victims accordingly, and you're thinking, oh man, the plot's gonna be unveiled, and that he's got a vampire accomplice. There's no way they can beat him, and it's all beautifully laid out. And I especially like the way that they go about choosing who gets to be essentially food for the night, and that one piece of crap councilman finally gets his comeuppance. We've been wanting to see that for a while, and they finally take him out. But we see the whole setup, and everyone, you want to know the secret to mortality, and it's a big old vampire blood feast. And I have to say, my God, that was a scene that could have been in any horror movie. It was so well, not just laid out and constructed, but just well acted. Three, bloodthirsty vampires and a house full of like a dozen, half, 20 people, that they are just going to run around the whole place and under the cover of Mardi Gras are going to just murder the hell out of it. And we see Louis in a way we don't really normally see him. He's he hasn't fed, he's animalistic. All three of them are going, and they're just slaying and murdering these people in pretty gruesome ways. I think Louis even rips a jaw off. It's like I said, a horror director would love to have been able to direct that sort of thing. So I thought that was really well played. Leading up to the murder itself, which was Lestat thinking he's thought enough steps ahead, and to you know see him start throwing up blood and everything, and then they take out we find out that Antoinette, the woman he's been sort of keeping him out of the city, he did finally turn her into a vampire, and she's been his ace in the hole, if you will. But that Claudia was onto it the whole time and had set them both up for the for the failure. And just to see the way she gloats over him, oh, it was beautiful. Bailey Bass, my God, she basically won everything. She stole all the scenes. She uh, it just acted her ass off. Claudia is just the best thing in this. She's the best thing in the show, and a show full of really great acting, really great performances. She is just absolutely. She killed it. She absolutely killed the role. Stole all the scenes. She just great. I really love seeing that, and even seeing Jacob Anderson as Louis killing the thing he loved. At least as he was saying, killing the thing he loved. And Sam Reed, God, he was just. I'll just say this: the definitive Lestat. To me, there is no other right now. That is Lestat. I will, I'll hear nothing else. Playing his role to a T throughout the episode, even up to that really great death. Beautifully played. I really enjoyed all of that. And if that had just been the episode, just that bit, I'd have been super happy. But the framing, Daniel just being suspicious and trying to figure out what's going on, and really not taking any shit from Louis, not buying his BS, not buying that, oh, you killed him. No, you didn't kill him. You didn't burn him. You left him so that he could never actually die. They're just that he was severely weakened. Lestat was weakened, and that just really kind of accusing him, like this. What is this? What is this entire confession? You're leaving things out. You're editorializing all this other stuff. Tell the truth. Be honest. I love Daniel. Eric Bogosian as Daniel. Not older, crustier, taking less shit, and just not taking no for an answer from him. And the answer he gets is it's just epic. It's an epic reveal. And I was thinking, like, this had to have been, he put two and two together. This has to you're not you're not a real person. You're a vampire. But I saw you stand in the sun, and to see Rashid be revealed, floating as the vampire Armand was amazing. I mean, like, for real, jump up and down. Holy shit, amazing. Because Armand, huge in the interview with the Vampire book, but also later on in the Vampire Chronicles series. And it's pretty clear to me, like, this story is different. And they already told us that. They told us that from the beginning, that this story is a retelling. The original interview with the vampire happened, but now he's telling the real story. So things are going to be changing in this story. And Armand, as Louis said, the love of his life. He calls Armand the love of his life. That's important and amazing. And my God, there's so much going to happen in season 2. We were only halfway through this, a third halfway through the book. And so we're going to get a lot more of Rashid / Armand in the coming season. But man, just to see him just floating there, just, saying that the sun is a mediocre star. Gosh, I mean, you couldn't have done a better stinger at the end of the episode. So as you can tell, I'm geeked for this episode. Loved it. It's a great cap to a great season. Probably one of the best first seasons of a TV show I've ever seen. I think this show absolutely knocked it out of the park on all levels. And man, they've got a lot to live up to in the next season. But man, if you are not watching this, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Great TV, great fantasy, just great characters, all that stuff. So I'm going to stop gushing, but I do want to know what you guys thought about this episode and what you thought about what I had to say. Get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit me up supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And please get down there, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. All that good stuff helps with the algorithm so more people can see these reviews. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks for joining me on this. Come back to the channel. We got more shows that I'm reviewing, podcasts, all that good stuff. Till then, I've been Mo Poupée, your resident fabricant and comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.